Okay, you can register by clicking this link, and if you haven't received your OTP, you will check in the break. And is it okay if we start the session, today's lecture? If anyone has issues, we will discuss in the break. Okay, and if you can log into the system, please click this link. I'll share it chat box again, and click that link, enter your email and password, and click login. After that, you can log into the system. Okay, this is the main dashboard of the system. You can view your pending works. You can view your top selling items and your sales history, your bank balances, your customer outstanding, your top customer sales. Like that, you can check your company performance at once from this dashboard. And this has customer, supplier, in items, banking, accounts, reports, and other administration tools. We will discuss these in details when we are discussing each module. In your system, dashboard may not have any graphs like that, because still we haven't entered transactions. After you enter transactions, these graphs will update. Okay. Now, first, we will check how to set up our company. After you log into the system, go to click this company and click change company settings. Okay, you can change your company settings, or first you need to implement your system. So you can set these settings from company, change company settings. In here, in this screen, you can enter your company details. Now, when you are registering, you have entered company details. So those details will display here. And if you want to change or you want to add other details, you can enter here. You can enter company name, your telephone number, fax number, mobile number, and contact name here. Okay. If you have any contact person for contacting this software, you can enter that contact name, or you can enter your name as the contact name. Right. You can enter that other details also, fax number, mobile, and contact name available. Right. Next, email address. You can enter email address here. Your email address you can enter, and there are two tick boxes. First one, use this email address for communication, and second one, use mail service at accountingch1.co from address. Now, in this system, you can email your customer documents such as customer quotations, sales orders, customer invoices. You can directly email to your customers by clicking these actions and email. You can email your invoices to your customers. And from these settings, when you are sending emails, if you want to mention any email address, you can enter that email address here. Or if you tick this use mail service at accounting.ch1.co.za, then when you are sending emails, this email will display. Okay. If you want to send from a particular email address, you can enter that email address here. Or if you haven't ticked that use this email, system will send email from this email address, mail service at accounting.sage1.co.z. Okay, now I'll show you. Now, if you have entered any email address, that email address will display here. If you haven't ticked that send from email address, then this use email service, that email address will display when you are sending emails. Okay. Next one, CC. Now, assume you are the finance manager of that company, or you are the account. So you want to get all the emails. Your users will send that invoices to your customers or suppliers. In that all emails, you want to get a copy of that all emails. So if you want to get an email copy of that emails, you can tick this option, always CC this email address, and you can enter your email address. Okay. Now you have, assume you may have assistant accountant or accounts assistant. They will send customer invoices, customer quotations, supplier purchase orders. Then if you want to get that copy of that all emails, you can enter your email address and tick this, always CC this email address. Then when your user sending emails from the system, you will get a copy. Next, postal address. You can enter your postal address here. And if you have a postal address and physical address different, you can enter physical address here. Okay, you can enter postal address and you can enter the physical address. And when you are sending or you are designing your email address invoices, system can display that details, like your telephone number, mobile number, postal address, you can display in the invoices. Okay, like this, you can display your details. Right, now you can enter this company details, email address and postal addresses. Okay, now when you are logging to the system, system will ask that your email address and password. If you forget that password, you can click that forget password. Now, when you are logging to the system, if you forget your password, you can enter your email address, and there's a button, forgot your password. You can click that button and enter your email address, click reset password. Then Sage will send you an email. By clicking that, there will be a link in that email. By clicking that email, you can reset your password. Okay, you can enter company details, and after you enter company details, you can save, or you can go to the additional company information, and you can enter these details. Okay, after you enter, you can save, or you can save after enter all details. Right, next, statutory information. From here, you can enter your statutory information. Now, if you are a tax registered company, you can enter your company tax number. Next, registered name. Now, sometimes your company name and registered name may different, and if it is different, you can enter your registered name. Now, for an example, most hotels has, now if you take for an example that Cinnamon Hotels, there will be a hotel name is one name, but registered name different name, and here you can enter the registered name. And under registration number, you can enter your company registration number. Okay, you may have seen that PV or WP, like that numbers available, so you can enter your company registration number here. Next, tax office, you can enter your tax office. You can enter Inland Revenue as your tax office. Next, entity type. From entity type, you can select your company type. Whether it's corporation, company, partnership, sole proprietor, trust, you can select. If you are a private limited company, you can select company. Next, additional company information. From here, you can enter your company city, company province, and country. Okay, you can enter city, province, and country. Next, if you are a tax registered person, you can enter tax numbers, and these details you can enter, but this tax practitioner details and SaaS company contact details not required. You can enter statutory information and additional company information. Okay, and if you are a tax registered company, you can enter company tax number. You can enter company registered name, company registration number. For tax office, you can enter Inland Revenue, and for entity type, you can select your company type. If you are partnership, you can select partnership. If you are the owner, or if you are a sole proprietor, you can select sole proprietor. And if you are a private limited company, you can select company. Okay, now you can enter this statutory information and additional company information. Okay, after that, we'll move to customer zone. Now, in this system, you can email your customer quotations, customer invoices, sales orders, and customer receipts. After that, when you are sending your emails, you can email your documents, and when you are sending your emails, there will be a link with that email. Then your customers can click that link, and they can view their transaction with your company. Now, for an example, if you have a customer and you are invoicing to that customer, you will send quotations and customer will pay for you. Those details they can view online. Okay. Now you can send an email. With that email, there will be a link. By clicking this link, your customers can view their statements online. They can view their tax invoices, quotations, sales orders. Those details they can view online without logging to the system. Okay. Like this, they can view their invoices, quotations, sales orders, credit notes, payments, statements. Those details they can view online. Now, from this setting, customer zone setting, by tick here, you can enable that customer zone. Okay, if after you tick this, or after you enable your accounting customer zone, your customers can view their invoices, quotations, receipts outstanding online. Okay, and there are two options: invoices and quotes only. Second option, invoices and account history. Now, if you select first option, your customers can view invoices and quotations only. Now, in this statement or this customer zone, your customers can view invoices, quotations, sales orders, credit note, payment statements, those details. And if you select second option, your customers can view invoices and account history. And if you select first option, your customers can view only invoices and quotations only. Okay. If you want to allow to view all details, you can select second option, invoices and account history. Next, display name. From here, you can enter which name should display in that customer zone. Okay, now here it will display PW Holdings because we have entered here PW Holdings. Okay, after that you can after you select these customer zone settings, you can save. You can select settings for customer zone. Okay, sorry, you can take this enable accounting customers on, and if you want to allow only invoices and quotes history only, quotes only, you can select first option. And if you want to view or if you want to allow your customers to view invoices, quotations, sales orders, credit notes, payments, statements, you can select second option. Right, next, add payment gateway. If you have any payment gateways, you can link that payment gateway to the system. Next, net cash. From here also, if you have online banking, you can link that your bank to this system. Okay, currently, since you don't have any online payment gateway and net cash, we will not discuss in detail. But if you have payment gateway, you can link to the system. Okay, from these company details, you can enter company details, telephone numbers, contact persons, email, postal address, and additional information. You can enter statutory information, additional company information, and from company zone, you can allow your customers to view their invoices, quotations, account statement from online. You can enable by ticking here, enable your accounting customer zone, and you can have the option to which documents your customers can view. If you tick first option, invoices can quotes only, the customers can view. If you select second option, your customers can view invoices and account history. And under display name, you can enter your company name. Then this name will display in the customer zone. Next, online payment gateway and net cash. Okay, after you enter these company details, you can save. Sometimes there will be a message will display if your tax number is not correct. You can enter any dummy number and you can save. Right. Next, we will move to general settings. From here, first we will discuss financial years. Okay. Now, some companies or different companies may use different financial years. Now, for an example, in Sri Lanka, most companies use April to March. Sometimes some companies use 1st of January to 31st December. Or some companies may use October to September, or some companies may use July to June 30th. Like that, different companies may be use different financial years. Now from here, financial years, you can set your company financial year. You can enter or you can select company financial year. Now, if you are starting from this year, you can enter 1st April 2021 and you can enter financial year in date as 31st March 2022. Right. Now, when you are implementing the system, there are some practical things you need to consider. Now, if you are implementing for new company without any transaction, you can enter that financial year as 1st April 2021 to 31st March 2022. But sometimes you may implement the system for all company. Okay, there may be 3-4 years outstanding from customers, suppliers, and some GL balances may be there. So in that case, if you are implementing for all company, you can add few years. Okay, few old years also you can add. Now for an example, if you have customer outstanding from 2017, you can start from 1st April 2017. Okay, and you can enter in date as 31st March 2018. Like that, if you have all customer balances or all supplier balances, you can start from that financial year. Or if you want to start from current year, you can enter current year. Okay, and also you can add financial years by clicking this plus mark. And if you want to remove any financial year, by clicking this red color button, you can delete that financial year. Okay, now you have the option to change your financial years. You can enter financial year start date, and you can enter financial year end date. I'll repeat it again. If you are implementing the system for new company, you can start from 1st of April 2021 to 31st March 2022. If your financial year start from April to March. And if you are implementing the system for all company, you can enter a few all financial years in the system. Okay, now for an example, if you have customer or supplier outstanding from 2017, you can start from April 1st 2017, and you can enter end date 31st March 2018, and next year also you can start from April 2018, and you can enter financial year end date as 2019. Like that, you can create your financial years. Right. Like that, you can create financial years, and you can see that current financial year tick. Okay, and you can tick this tick for your current financial year. Now we are in 2021-2022 financial year. Therefore, you can tick for this financial year. And if you want to add next financial year, you can, by clicking this plus mark, you can add new financial year. And another important thing, if you want to add any transaction in the next financial year, you have to create a financial year, then only you can enter transaction. Now for an example, you will receive a post-dated check in 2022. April 1st. In that case, to enter that transaction, you should have a financial year. Therefore, it's better if you can create a financial year for next financial year. Okay, this is not compulsory, but when you are practicing, or if you are working for company, sometimes you may receive post-dated checks, and if you want to enter any journal entries for next financial year, you can create a next another financial year. And also in this system, you don't do any year-end processes. Now sometimes you may know in Sage 50 accounting, you need to do that year-end processes. Okay, you need to close one year and you need to open next year. But here there's no any year-end processes. You can create financial years from here. Now assume you will end this financial year 31st March 2022. Then system will pop up a message, and by asking you want to create a new financial year, then you can click yes, then system will create a financial year. Like that, you can add financial years, you can set financial year start date and end date, and you can select the current financial year. Okay, now if you take this current financial year, when you are generating reports, it will display this current year. Okay, then you can see 1st April 2021 to 31st March 2022. Now if you have set for previous year as a current financial year, then system will display current year as previous year. Therefore, please tick this current financial year tick for relevant financial year. Right. Next, lockdown date. Now, sometimes your users may enter transaction by selecting wrong dates or incorrect dates. For an example, after you complete the audit, sometimes your users may by mistakenly select previous years and enter transaction. So you can use this lockdown date to prevent that users mistakes. Okay, if you tick this set a lockdown date and enter lockdown date here, your users cannot enter transactions prior to this period. Okay, if you set a lockdown date tick, and if you select a date here, your users cannot enter transaction prior to this period. Okay, sometimes when you are selecting your users selecting that transactions dates, by mistake they will select incorrect dates or previous years. So to block that, you can set a lockdown date. You can take this lockdown, set a lockdown date, and you can select lockdown date. Then your users cannot enter transaction prior to this period. Okay. After your year-end audits, or if you want to block this monthly, now for an example, after you prepare monthly accounts for July, you can set your lockdown date as 31st July 2021. Then your users cannot enter transactions prior to this period. Okay, right. Now you can create your financial years and you can set a lockdown date. According to your company requirements, you can create these financial years, and you can select that financial year start date and financial year end date. And by setting a lockdown date, you can prevent user mistakes. Okay, after you select these details, you can save. Right. Next, we will move to rounding. From here, you can select rounding if you want. Now, for an example, some large companies may not display cents in their transactions or figures reports. If you want, you can rounding up or rounding down or normal rounding, then that cents will round to rupees, and you can set how to or rupee or to nearest rounding you can set. Now if you enter 5 here, it will round up to 5 cents. Like that you can rounding, and if you want to show numbers without rounding, you can select no rounding. Then actual figures will display in the transaction and the reports. Right, now you can check this rounding option. Right, next we will move to regional settings. Okay, first one, quantity decimal places. Now in practical situation you may use decimal places. Now if you are selling computers, there may be you may not use decimal places. Then if you are selling any items with kilos or grams, you may need to use quantity decimal places. Now if you are selling assume vegetables, you may need decimal places because you need to enter grams, so therefore you may use decimal places. If you select or if you enter decimal places, now we will I'll show you example. Now when you enter quotations or invoices, after you select items, you can see 2 decimal places here, and by increasing these decimal places here, or now here only 0, if you add 2, if you add 2 here, system will display 2 decimal places. And if you want to add 3 decimal places, now if you are selling in grams or if you are selling in meters, you may need 3 decimal places. In that case, you can enter quantity decimal places as 3. And you can enter transactions. You will enter quotation. Now you can see there are 3 decimal places, and based on your company requirements, you can change these decimal places. And if you want to add decimal places in values, now here there are 2 decimal places. If you want to display only rupee value, you can enter 0 here. Then system will display only rupee value. And if you want to show or display cents values, you can enter 2 here. Okay, and then system will display 2 decimal places for your values. Like that, you can change your quantity decimal places and value decimal places. Next, currency symbol. In your company, sometimes you may use LKR or rupees for your transactions. And now here in this system, we have used LKR. If you enter LKR here, system will display that all values in LKR. And if you want to display as rupees, you can enter RS here. Then system will display currency symbol as rupees. And when you are entering this currency symbol, please don't enter spaces or dots or characters here. Please only enter RS or LKR. If you enter any spaces or any other dots or commas, system will not display the correct values. Okay, therefore don't enter spaces or dots here. Please enter only rupees or LKR. Okay. There are 3 date formats. First one, date, month, year. Second one, year, month, date. Third one, month, date, year. So you can select your preferred date format from this drop down menu. Okay, after you select or after you enter these details, you can save your settings. Okay, now you can enter your decimal places and value decimal places, and you can enter your currency symbol. Right, you can enter regional settings, and we will take a short break. We will start by 4:45, and if you cannot register for your system, please send your email address and your mobile number, and after you received your mobile number OTP, please send that OTP. Okay, we'll start now. When you are entering that your VAT number, if you're not enter correct VAT number, there will some message, but you can click yes and you can continue. And if you cannot register from or if you are not receiving your OTP, please check different mobile number and whether it's working, or after the session we will check that issues who cannot register for the system. Okay, right, now we have completed up to regional settings. Next we will move to customer and supplier settings. Okay, now first one, warn when duplicate customer reference used on customer invoices. Now when you are enter customer invoices, sometimes your customers will send purchase orders to purchase your items. Okay, in that case you can enter that purchase order number here, or sometimes if your customer send any documents to purchase that, you can enter that document number, enter under customer reference. Now in this first setting says warn when duplicate customer reference used on customer invoices, system will pop up a warning message. Okay, if you tick this option, if you are entering any duplicate customer reference number, system will pop up a message. And if you want to get that warning message, you can click this option. And if you don't want to get warning message, you can untick this option. Now I'll explain again. Now when you are enter invoices, some customers may send purchase order, so you can enter that purchase order number here. Then sometimes by mistake, or your user by mistake enter same purchase order number again for that particular customer. Same customer, again they will enter same purchase order number. So one customer will not, system will think one customer will not send same purchase order number again. Therefore system will pop up a warning message. And if you want to get that warning message, you can take this option. And if you don't want to get warning messages, you can untick this option. Next one, warn when duplicate supplier invoice number used on supplier invoices. Now you can enter your supplier invoices in the system. Okay, when you are purchasing, you can enter that supplier invoice numbers. Now if you are enter same supplier invoice number again, system will pop up a message. Okay, now if you enter same invoice number again, system will pop up a message. So if you take this option, system will pop up a message. And if you don't want to get that warning messages, you can untick this option. Okay, we will try one example. Now this supplier has this invoice number. We will enter same supply invoice number again. Okay, now you can see the supplier invoice number entered in this document has already been used in this for this supplier. Do you want to continue? So if you tick this option, And if you are entering same supplier invoice number, system will pop up a warning message. We will check for customer also. Now this customer has this reference number. Same number again. Then system will pop up a message. The customer reference entered in this document has already been used for this customer. Do you want to continue? So if you tick these options, when you are entering duplicate numbers, system will pop up a message. Next, display inactive customers for selection when processing. Now, you may sell your items or services to your customers. Sometimes those customers will not pay properly, or you may decide to discontinue that customers, or you want to block that customers for invoicing. Okay, in that case, you can inactive your customers. Okay, you can go to list of customers. And you can create customers from this customers, add a customer. And you can go to customer list. And there's an active tick box. If you untick, this customer will inactivate. Okay, and you can save. After that, we will go to transactions. We have deactivated this, inactivated this A01 customer. You will enter quotation for that customer. Now you can see that A01 customer will not display because we have unticked this display inactive customer for selection when processing. Now, if you untick this option, inactivated customers will not display. Now, after sales, some sales with that customers, you will identify this customer is not profitable customer and he is not paying properly. So you decided to not to sell for that customer. Okay, and therefore you will inactive this customer. So if you untick this option, display inactive customers for selection when processing, your users cannot view that inactivated customers. Okay, now you can see A01 not available. So those customers will not display. So your users cannot sell for inactivated customers. Next one, display inactive suppliers for selection when processing. Same way, if you inactivated any supplier, sometimes you may purchase from one particular supplier and later you found that that supplier's prices is very high compared to other suppliers. In that case, you will decide to not to sell for that, not to buy from that supplier, and you can inactive that supplier by unticking here. You can inactive that supplier, and when you enter transactions, or if you are entering purchase order for that supplier. Now a supplier will not display. Like that, you can inactivate your suppliers or customers, and from these settings you can block that customers or suppliers for transaction processing. Okay, for customers you can block that customers for quotation, sales orders, or customer invoices, and for suppliers you can block for supplier invoices or supplier purchase order. Next, display inactive customers for selection on reports. And if you take this option, now if you from these settings, you can block that suppliers or customers display in that reports. Okay. Now here you can see that A01 because we have picked this display inactivated customers for selection on reports. Now you may block for customers for processing transactions, but you want to view that customers reports. So in that case, you can tick this option. And if you tick this option, inactivated customers also will display in the reports. Okay, like this, same as customers. You can block suppliers, but you want to get those suppliers details in reports. So if you want to get suppliers details in reports, you can tick this option. Right. Next one, use inclusive processing on customer supplier documents by default. Now, from these settings, you can display inclusive amount or exclusive amount. Now, for an example, if you are a tax registered company, you may have exclusive price and inclusive price. Exclusive is without tax, inclusive is with tax. Now, when you are processing transactions, now you can see here exclusive price, and you can change it to inclusive like that. Now initially this is exclusive because we have unticked this option. Now when you are entering transaction, you can view the exclusive price, and if you want to view the price, inclusive price or with tax price, you can tick this option. Okay, if you tick this option, system will display inclusive price or with tax amount. If you untick this option, you can view the exclusive price or without exclusive without tax price. And from here, after you enter transaction, you can view that exclusive amount, tax amount, and total. Or if you tick this option, you can view the inclusive price here. Even you are changing this, if you set exclusive price here. When you are processing the transaction, there's another option, use inclusive amount. So you can, by ticking this, you can view the inclusive price. And here, if you tick, you can view the inclusive price. If you untick, you can view the exclusive price. And from this screen also, you can view inclusive or exclusive price. Next, use account as default document line type selection. Now, when you are enter invoices or quotations, you can select item, account, and bundle here. Now, from here, in this setting says, use account as default document line type selection. If you untick this option, system will display as item as default. Now, if you select item under type, you can select your inventory items. And if you select account, you can select your GL accounts. Okay, now in this setting says use account as default document line type selection. If you tick that option, when you enter transaction, system will display account as default type. We'll change that one. We'll take this option. And we will enter transaction. We'll go to customers, transaction, customer codes, add code. Now you can see this type as account, and from here you can select your GL accounts. Now, when you are invoicing, sometimes you may directly charge to a GL accounts, or you can select your items. So if you don't have any items, you can select that account as your default type, or if you are selling items, you can untick this option. Okay, sometimes if you are a service company, or if you are providing consultancy services, you can tick this option, use account as default, or if you are selling items, you can untick this option. Okay. After that, you can save. Right. Before you practice these customer and supplier settings, we will create one customer and supplier and item. Then it will be easy for you to check this option. Okay. First, we will create a customer. Go to customers. Click add customer. Add a customer. You can enter customer name, and from here you can enter email address. If you don't enter any email address, please select print and you can save. Okay, at the moment we will enter customer name, and we will change this statement distribution method, and we will save. And when we are discussing this master file, we will discuss the customer creation in detail. Okay, you can create 3 customers, enter customer name, change this statement distribution method as print, and you can save. And same way you can create suppliers. Go to suppliers, add a supplier, enter supplier name, and save. Okay, you can create 3 customers and 3 suppliers. Okay, after you create your customers and suppliers, you can view that customers from list of customers. Go to customers, list of customers. From here, you can view your customers and open one customer by clicking this blue color link and untick this active option. After that, you can save, and after that, you can go to this change company settings and customer and supplier settings. You can untick this display inactive customers for selection when processing, and you can untick display inactive suppliers for selection when processing, and you can check those customers or suppliers displaying that transactions. Okay, untick one customer, go to customers, list of customers. Open one customer by clicking that customer name. Untick this active tick box and save. After that, you can go to transactions, customers, transactions, customer codes, and click add code. Then from customers drop down menu, you can check whether that customer is displayed or not. Same way, you can go to suppliers, list of suppliers, and you can inactivate one supplier, and by unticking this active tick box, you can inactivate your suppliers, save. After that, you can go to suppliers, transactions, supplier purchase orders, add purchase order, and check whether that inactivated supplier will display in this drop down menu. Okay, next, before move to item settings, we will create an item. Go to items, add an item. From here, you can add item code and item description. You can add any code and you can enter item description. After that, you can save. Okay. When we are discussing this master file creation, we will discuss in detail. Okay, please create items. Please create 2 items. Okay, next we will move to item settings. Now, in this item settings, first option is warn when item quantities fall below 0. Second option is do not allow item quantities fall below 0. Now, in practical situations, sometimes you may go for audits. In that audits, you may see some companies inventory balances, there will be a minus values. Now, if you are correctly maintaining your inventory system, there shouldn't be any minus inventory balances. Okay. Now, sometimes when your users enter transactions, they may enter incorrect values. Therefore, sometimes that your inventory balance will fall below 0 or it will go for minus value. So from these settings, you can block that items fall below 0 or item quantities falling below 0. Now, first option is warn when item quantities fall below 0. Second option is do not allow item quantities fall below 0. Now, if you tick first option, when you are enter transaction, if that quantity fall below 0, system will pop up the message, but you can okay that message and you can process the transaction. But if you select second option, if you tick second option, system will not allow to process that transaction if quantities fall below 0. Okay, we will try one example. Now first we will select warn when item quantities fall below 0. We will go to transaction. First, we will check items. You can view that quantity on hand from here and item code here. We will enter one customer tax invoice. Now you can see this. Select. We'll select this item. It has quantity on 6 quantity on hand. You select that item and we will try to sell 10 quantities. We have only 6, but we will invoice for 10. Now, if you enter 10, system will display processing this quantity will be cause the quantity on hand for this item to fall below 0. Okay, this might result in reserved items being unavailable for delivery. If you click OK, you can process this transaction. Still quantity 10 available. And we will change that setting again. We'll go to general settings, item settings. We will take this do not allow item quantities fall below 0. And save. After that, we will enter another tax invoice. Click add a tax invoice. Select the customer. Select item. Same item we will select. And this time also we will enter 10 here. Now you can see that message has changed. Processing this quantity will cause the quantity on hand for the item fall below 0. You are not allowed to process below quantity on hand. Okay. Now again that quantity has changed to 1. We will try again. Again it has changed to 1. Okay, and like that, if you tick first option, system will display a warning message, but you can process the transaction. But if you tick second option, do not allow item quantities fall below 0. You cannot process the transaction. Okay, and also you cannot tick both at once. You have to select either one option. Right. Next one, warn when item cost is 0. We'll change the setting again. Now you can view that items cost from this list of items. Now this item cost is 0. Is 01. We will enter transaction for that item. We'll create a new item. See, the cost of this item is 0. For accurate cost of sale reporting, ensure that the cost of the item is correct. Now, if this cost from particular items cost is 0, that system will identify this will be a user mistake, because when you are purchasing items, you are not normally there should be a cost for that items. Therefore, if you haven't entered any cost for that item, system will identify this as an error. Therefore, system will pop up a message. Okay, if you take this option, system will pop up a message when you are selling 0 cost item. Next, warn when item selling price is below cost. We'll go for list of items and we'll check one item. Now this 001 item cost is 100. Okay. Then system will pop up a message. The selling price of this item is below the cost price. Now, if you are selling items below the cost price, you will make a loss. Okay. Normally, you don't sell below the cost price. Therefore, system will pop up a message. This will be a user mistake. Okay. Therefore, and if you want to get an alert, you can tick this option, warn when item selling price is below cost. Next one, display inactive items for selection on document line. We have discussed similar thing in when discuss customer and supplier settings. If you untick this option, inactive items will not display in transaction processing, and if you tick, system will display inactive items. Now, for an example, in practical situation, after selling some items, you will decide those selling those items will not make any profit for your company, and therefore you will discontinue that product. So you can inactive that product, and when you are invoicing, those products will not display. Okay, you can go to the list of items and you can inactive items. See this item, if you untick this option, it will not display. Untick this active tick box and save. After that, you can go to customer transactions, pick at code from select items. You can check that 2BR is not available, okay, because we have inactivated that item, and we have unticked this option, display inactive items for selection on document line. Therefore, that inactivated items will not display in the reports. Next one, display inactive items for selection on reports. Now, you may inactive some items, but you want to view that items transaction in report. That case, if you want to display, you can tick this option, then system will display that transactions or item transaction in the report. Next, sales orders reserve item quantities. Now, from this system, you can enter customer sales orders. Now, if you enter customer sales orders, you can reserve goods for that customer. Now, for an example, one of your customer will order some items for them. Okay, that time you may have another. You cannot invoice for that customer, but you will enter sales order for reserve those quantities for that supplier. Okay, in that case, if you want to reserve, you can tick this option. Okay, if you tick this option, even though you have not invoiced for that customers, by entering sales order, you can reserve goods for that customer. Now here you can see reserved quantity. Now this item 109 quantities reserved for some customer. Like that, you can reserve if you want to reserve item quantities when you enter sales orders, you can tick this option. Next, display inactive item bundles for selection on document line. Now in this system, you can create items and bundle items. Now bundle items is a collection of items. Now here we have a computer bundle item. In that computer bundle item, there are sub-components: CPU, monitor, mouse, keyboard, speakers, like that, components available. And when you are invoicing, so when you enter any transaction for that item, we will discuss when you are creating bundle items. When you select that computer, all components will display in the invoice screen. Okay, and also from here you can change quantities. Now here 510, if you change to 20, like that, quantities will change. Now from here you can create bundle items. And system settings says display inactive item bundles for selection on document line. If you inactive any bundle item, if you untick this option, those inactivated items will not display in the when you are processing transaction. Okay. Now we will inactive this item, B01 item we have inactivated. We will go for customer transaction. We will change type to bundle, and now B01 bundle item will not display. Like that, you can change that item display setting from here. Okay, first one, born when item quantities fall below 0. If you untick this one, or if you untick, if you tick this option, system will display warning message. And if you tick second option, do not allow item quantities fall below 0, system will not allow to process that transaction. Then next one, warn when item cost is 0, system will display a warning message if item cost is 0. Next one, warn when item selling price is below cost. Now if you are enter selling price below the cost price, system will identify it as an error. Therefore, system will pop up a message. Next one, display inactive items for selection on document line. If you untick this option, inactivated items will not display in the document lines. Next, display inactive items for selection on reports. If you want to view inactivated items in the report, you can tick that option. And if you want to reserve item quantities on sales orders, you can tick this option. And last one, display inactive item bundles for selection on document lines. So you can create bundle items, and if you inactivated those bundle items, it will not display if you untick this option. Okay, next, price list. Actually, these things you can check as a homework, and you can check these settings, and you can active and inactivate your item, customers and suppliers, and please change these settings, and you can check those item settings. Next, we will move to price list. Now, in practical situations, sometimes you may sell your items for different customers at different prices. Now, for an example, if you have a company, assume you are providing accounting services for your friends and your relations, you will provide a special rate, and for your normal customers, you will provide that accounting services at a different rate. So if you have different prices, you can create price list here by clicking this plus mark. You can add price list. Now, for an example, if you are in trading business, for wholesale customers, you will sell a different price, and for retail customers, you will sell at a different price. For an example, for wholesale customers, you will sell at 100 rupees, and for retail customers, you will sell at 125. So you can create price list from here, and after that, when you are creating customers, you can link that price list. Okay, when you are creating customers, you can create select price list here. Then when you are invoicing for that customers, relevant prices will display in the screen. Okay, first you need to create custom price list. After that, you can link that price list to customers, and when you are invoicing for that customers, relevant prices will display in the screen. Okay, first you need to create price list. Here you can enter and by clicking this add plus mark, you can add price list, and by clicking red color button, you can delete price list. Like that, you can create price list and you can save. After you save, when you are creating customers, you can link that price list. Right, before wrap up the session, please create few price list. You can create a few price lists now. Okay, you can add price list by clicking this plus mark, And by clicking that under description, you can rename your price list name. After that, you can save. Okay, like that, you can create price list. And when you are entering that tax number, please enter 10-digit number. Then that error message will not display. Right. Okay, now we have completed up to item settings. Next session, we will start from outstanding balances. Okay, and please practice these settings. You can create customers, suppliers, and items, and you can activate and deactivate those customers, and you can check these settings. Okay. Right. Thank you very much for your participation. And if you cannot register, please send your details for this number, and we will try to create your account. Okay. And if you have any questions, please ask your questions before and after the session, and please practice. So we will wind up for today. Stay safe. Okay, thank you.